What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking about a newer release from the brand Lalique. You saw it in the title, you saw it in the thumbnail. It's Encre Indigo. Now, I don't know if it's officially part of the Encre Noir line, but it sure smells like it, as well as it has Encre in the name. So I would assume, because I've never seen anything that officially says it's in the line, but I was a little surprised with this one. At first, it doesn't come across as anything special, but there's a very particular rich character to this profile that we're going to discuss in this video. So yeah, let's dive into what might be kind of a dark blue vetiver fragrance. Stay tuned. So quickly, let's take a look at the bottle, because the light's not coming through this way to where you could see it the way I see it, but this is a beautiful deep blue color that starts off as a very, almost not quite clear, but goes all the way into basically a black. It's so heavily toned in this blue. This blue, you can see it kind of like when I do that. Gorgeous, I gotta say. Encre Indigo really goes with the whole ink theme of the Encre line. Cap's a little different from the rest of them. It does hold into place, but it's nothing super strong. It is, plastic cap, nothing spectacular. Solid atomizer. But where it gets interesting is this scent. Let's discuss. So I'll have the notes on screen for you guys. So this one very much surprised me because it is still an earthy vetiver based fragrance. But the difference here is this ambergris comes across as a little bit of ambroxan. You have a rich, spicy green feel to this as well. So that's why I say dark blue, not just clever because of the color of the bottle, but it may have been by design, because it very much, I just realized I'm wearing dark blue. Just dawned on me. Happy accident. The color of this bottle is very much how I feel this profile worked out. It's a dark blue scent. It's based around earthy vetiver, the same type of earthy vetiver that you can expect from Encre Noir, Encre Noir Sport, and Encre Noir à l'Extrême, but spicier. It's not as watery. You do get a juiciness to this bergamot. I would say it's closer to Encre Noir Sport than any of the other three, but at the same time, it's a deeper, richer, much spicier scent. It lacks that watery, fresh, aquatic appeal of the Sport flanker. But it does pick up different green elements like this tea note that they have, as well as some other spices. The pink pepper here kind of adds an aromatic nature to the scent profile. Now, I'm sure that's contributing to the spice. Most pink peppers seem to come across a bit more sweet and aromatic than they are just overall very spicy. I think it's more the saffron given this kind of very heated spice. It's an interesting kind of balance here where there's fresh and green spice tone to this, and there's very warm hot spiciness that I believe the saffron is what's providing this like fiery hot kind of feel, because most of the time saffron, when it comes across spicy, it's a warmer spice, and that's very much the case here. Even a little bit of a metallic tone with a leathery facet. Like this saffron, I think, is doing a lot. I really do. Based on the notes, I think the saffron is wearing multiple hats, if you will, with the particular saffron oil that was used here. I think this is extremely well composed. My first impression, I was like, it's nothing special. It's good, very good. I think I gave it a 7.5, something like that. Very good fragrance, didn't wow me, but when you start to spend time with it, you let it develop, you go through wearing experiences. I wore it yesterday. During the day, I wore it the night before. I've been doing test sprays, and it's actually the best of the bunch. Now, best meaning my favorite of the bunch. Best to you may be a different one, because best just means favorite in an opinionated space. It's just my opinion. This smells incredible. This isn't going to be for everyone, but those of you that like blue, like I do, and want something kind of a new blue that has elements of typical blue fragrance, but reinvented in many ways because it's based around a lot of green and spicy elements while still having that synthetic nature and mass appeal of this synthetic ambergris that's basically ambroxan. This is actually really, really good. Really, really good. I encourage you to get your nose on this one. I mean, the scent category alone, when you let this one develop, it's like a 9 out of 10. So not the overall rating, but just the scent profile alone. I mean, it's an outstanding smell. You got to get to know it though. Let's get into performance. So this one's no slouch on my skin. I've been getting in the 7 to 8 hour range in longevity, so I can safely throw it out there as a 6 to 8 hour longevity fragrance. Nothing crazy strong, right in the sweet spot of what I look for from every fragrance. If I could get that no matter how fresh, how dark, how heavy, whatever, every profile, if I could get 6 to 8 hours of longevity on my skin before it falls off a cliff as a faint skin scent, I'm good with that. That's all I'm looking for. Projection, it's very vibrant and bright in the top. Very airy scent while still being full-bodied and dense. It's got this brightness to it. It really gets out in the air and pushes off the skin. For a solid hour to hour and a half is its strongest point before it settles into an overall moderate to slightly moderate to mild sillage. Like, I wouldn't call it strong whiffs for a long time. Like, there's a period of time where the whiffs I get after the projection calms down is still pretty strong. But as time progresses, obviously the wafting becomes lighter and lighter with the sillage. That's why I say it kind of falls in that moderate to mild kind of range. So I'll just label it on screen as moderate to mild. Nothing crazy in performance, but above average overall, slightly above average in 2 of the categories, because I would call it, maybe a little bit better than arm's reach for the projection. And in the sillage, like I said, in that moderate to mild range. Overall, it's a great performing fragrance, at least for my taste, that kind of matches the scent profile. Some people may get a little bit more longevity out of 8 hours. Some people might get 9 to 10. It's kind of been falling pretty much in that 7 to 8 hour range for me, which, again, I'm totally fine with. But across the board, I think the performance suits the scent profile very well. Now then, my final thoughts on Encre Indigo. The overall rating has bumped greatly. My first impressions rating, for those of you that aren't familiar, anytime I give something a first impressions rating, it's strictly off of how it smells to me in that short moment in time, which is usually just the opening, the initial blast, the opening into the heart, potentially into the earliest of stages of dry down. Whereas when I give these overall ratings, it's a consensus score of the scent profile, the performance and all its subcategories. Usually I factor in versatility, which for what this is, I think you can wear this year round. There's enough freshness. It's not too heavy, but it's also got a strong density and spice to give it, like I said in the intro, a rich character that I think is an interesting signature scent choice for guys. Now, this is going to get cheaper. I paid $81 from Fragrance Buy in the link below. If you want to have it right now, you can get it for $81. That's what I did. I wanted to get it right away. Typically, these Encre fragrances in this line from Lalique, they get cheaper. Eventually, it will. How soon, I don't know, but it's below retail. That's all that really mattered to me. It's a relatively new release that I had a lot of interest in. And again, I was a little underwhelmed. Not really underwhelmed, just not wowed the first time I smelled it. Again, I gave it like a 7 to 7.5, whereas now I think it's every bit of an 8.5 out of 10. Great fragrance, bordering outstanding. This is upper level great on my rating scale, which is where those half points come in. Now, this is a personal taste thing, and if you like any of the other 3 Encre Noir fragrances, you're exactly who I'm speaking to when I say this. Try this fragrance. If you have 1, 2, or all 3 of the Encre Noir fragrances and you enjoy it or them, this is a must for you. In my opinion, best of the bunch. Gives a deep, rich character, still provides a lot of freshness from the sport, far superior to the original Encre Noir in my opinion, without having to be so situational, dark, and mysterious like the A l'Extrême. It kind of takes elements of all 3 and creates something new that still shares the same DNA. I think it's actually a very impressive fragrance for what it is. I say kudos to Lalique. We'll give the little soft clap so it's not loud into the mic. But yeah, Encre Indigo, 8.5 out of 10. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Encre Indigo from Lalique. I'm surprised that it developed the way it did. This just goes to show you have to spend time with these fragrances, because what you think at first might not be what you think in the long run, or even in the short term, just spending some more time with it. You never know how things are going to develop. You got to give them a chance. Don't just go off of people's opinions, both in video, such as myself, or written across online forums. Try these things for yourself as best you can. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you tried this? Do you have a similar assessment to mine? Does it swing one way or the other for you? Do you like it a lot less than I do? Do you like it even more than I do? Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, I'll have the link to Fragrance Buy, where I bought this from, down below if you are interested in picking it up, in the video description. Yeah, I'm very impressed with this. This will continue to roll in my spring rotation, potentially even into some summer evenings. And then in the fall, it'll get back in the rotation, because I think it's a great transitional season fragrance for spring and fall. I think it's ideal. And somebody's going to ask, because I typically do 5 sprays. 5 to 7 sprays is my standard routine. That has not changed. And that's the same thing with this one. So start off with a little and add more if you feel you need it. You heavy sprayers, have fun. I don't do all that craziness, because I don't think this fragrance needs it. It's strong enough to where 5 to 7, I think, suits what I'm looking for out of this fragrance perfectly fine. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Encre Indigo from Lalique and you give it a spray now, good chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.